Welcome back to the channel, everyone. The Santa Maria here. Yes, this is a little bit of a different angle for us because you all, it is springtime on the way. Daylight saving time is here, and you know what, it's time for some spring cleaning. And why not start with my makeup collection, because you all, my drawer was getting very full for my eyeshadows, and I decided, you know what, some of these, yes, I did a major declutter before I moved, but it's been almost 6 months again, and you know, your taste changed, the vibe changed. You just know what you're reaching for and what you are not reaching for. So yes, we're going to declutter these eyeshadows. I have them all here in this lovely box. Some you all have seen before, some you haven't, some I reach for, talk about, rave about, some I hate and just need to get rid of them. So we're going to talk about it today. But alas, there is no lipstick of the day, but there is a fragrance of the day because I'm always going to smell good no matter what. So fragrance of the day is Bond No. 9's Greenwich Village. I've missed you. Yeah, you still bae. I gotta say that. Bond No. 9 Greenwich Village is your fragrance of the day. Okay, that's the only detail we have for the moment. And now we're gonna get into this eyeshadow palette declutter. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way. This is the Coffee Shop palette from Juvia's Place. This is one of the more recent palettes that I picked up, and you all know I'm obsessed with it. I've been wearing this palette non-stop going on 3 months now, so this is an absolute keeper. I'm going to open it up so you all can see. It is a perfectly neutral brown girl friendly palette. These are so rare to come by, so we are keeping it. It's in Ulta now too, by the way, so I will have everything linked that I keep in the description box below. Next palette, this one was around for a little minute. I think it just went away if I'm not mistaken. This is the Amrezy palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Now for those that know, this isn't the original Amrezy palette. This is the second one. And check it out. This one is very pinky. This is one that I was kind of on the fence on, you all, but I recently found myself reaching for it. So you know what? This one makes the cut again. So we're going to keep the Amrezy palette. Next palette, this is back from my artistry days. This is back when I was an Anastasia Beverly Hills artist, to be exact. This is the Brow Pro palette. For some odd reason, it ended up in my eyeshadow drawer, so here we are. And it has all of the brow powders. Now, I was thinking about possibly getting rid of this one because I already have the powders that I need, which is usually Auburn and the chocolate powder, because normally for my hair color, it deviates you all from dark browns to blonde. That's just kind of my wavelength. And those are the two powders that I need. I don't really need anything else. Now that I think about it, I don't need this. So you know what? Actually, I'm going to declutter it. Yep, I don't need it. I don't need it. The brow palette is going bye-bye. Ooh, this is an oldie but goodie elves. Ooh, for sure. This is Colored Raine. This was the Queen of Hearts palette. This is the original one. I ordered this back when it first dropped. Now, this formula of this palette is so good. Really, really good. But the thing is, I don't wear this color scheme. And I gotta be real about that. I don't like the whole pinky orange vibe. This was definitely all the rage back to 2016, 17, 18 days of makeup. If you know, you know. But I don't wear my makeup like this anymore. So you know what? I think I'm gonna let it go. So yeah, bye Queen of Hearts palette from Colored Raine. Next palette, this is the Soft Glam palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Y'all, I still travel with this palette to this day. This is an icon. This is a staple. It's a yes. I actually probably want to get maybe a new one just because I've had this one literally since it came out. I want to say like 2018. I remember running to the store on my Friday. It was a payday and I bought this thing. I had to have it and I've been using it. So one of the best buys, one of the best palettes ever from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Next up, this is the newest palette from Colored Raine. This is the Rebellious Nudes palette. So this one came out not too long ago, and I absolutely reached for this one. This is the warm toned brown girl nude palette that I like. So when I'm not wearing neutrals like taupes and all that, but I want some a little bit more warmer, these I can blend in my sleep. So I'm absolutely keeping this palette. This is a yes. This is from Colored Raine. This is the Rebellious Nudes palette. Y'all, this one right here, this Natasha Denona, this is the bronze palette. It is so reflective. I feel like you can see my entire life with this palette. But this is the bronze palette. This palette was raved about. People swore up and down about it. Everybody swore this was everything, particularly for women that are my complexion. Y'all, it's too orange and red. And I don't reach for this palette because it's so orange. And y'all know I have a neutral undertone, so I really can't wear this. I just can't. Everything just is too warm for me. So believe it or not, this is a bye-bye. I'm going to declutter my Natasha Denona bronze palette. I can't do it. Next palette, we have the Jaclyn Hill Divine Neutrals palette. Now this one I do like. I do, because this one isn't ridiculously warm how the Bronze palette by Natasha Denona was. This one I can still work with. Yes, there's some warmth, but it's not overly orange. So you know what? I'm actually going to keep this palette. I know Jacqueline is kind of controversial. She kind of gets a little bit of a bad rap in the beauty community. But when she comes out with a good palette, I mean, I gotta give her credit. And this palette was good. So yes, Jacqueline Hill, Divine Neutrals. Ooh. Ooh. Let's talk about this one. The Master Palette by Mario, Anastasia Beverly Hills, which we all know now. Makeup by Mario. He has his own collection of makeup, his own line now that's in Sephora. This was back when he was truly an artist. Oh, this one takes me back. I remember ordering this one as soon as it dropped because it sold out so fast. Now, y'all, this palette is older. Okay, what is this? It's very powdery. I probably should get rid of this palette, but I'm not ready. I'm just not ready. I'm not ready, so I'm gonna keep it. Yes, I'm keeping my Master Palette by Mario Anastasia Beverly Hills. I'm keeping it. Ooh, this palette. This is the Supreme Nudes Artist Couture palette. This is a palette that is so highly slept on. I remember Artist Couture was all the rage, especially the glow powders, the diamond glow and all that. Okay, I can't open this. And this is the palette. You know what? This is a palette I liked before I knew the Coffee Shop palette would come out, because this palette did come out like 2-3 years before Coffee Shop did. So I do like this palette, but I do like it. I'm not ready to give it up because this is a wonderful fall palette, and I gotta be fair, it's springtime when I am filming this. So I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it one more season because I did reach for this a lot during the fall months. So I'm going to keep it. Artist Couture palette, the Supreme Nudes. Ooh, this is a classic, an oldie but goodie, you all. This is from Urban Decay. This is the Naked Heat palette. And it's ridiculously warm. And yeah, like I said, y'all, I don't like overly warm orangey red palettes. They just don't look good on me. They look horrible. So I'm decluttering this. Naked Heat, Urban Decay, it's a bye-bye. I can't do it. Okay, now I have some of my quads. This is from Pat McGrath. And this quad, this is the Celestial Divinity Luxe Quad in Interstellar Icon. You have to read the back to really see what these are. Oh, okay. This is one of the most recent quads I purchased, you all. This quad is so beautiful. I did a look with it recently here on the channel. I linked it and everything, and it came out beautifully. So I'm absolutely keeping this quad because I love the formula in these. Just Pat McGrath is still that girl when it comes to eyeshadow. Next up, we have another Pat McGrath Labs quad, and this is the Celestial Odyssey Luxe Quad in Bronze Borealis, which I just love that name. This is an easy reach Pat McGrath. This is another one that I can throw on, put on when I only have 10 minutes to get ready. So absolutely, I'm keeping it. I love the formula too. It's in that mauve taupey gold family, and it works. We have some other quads because you all, I just love the quads. So this is the Pat McGrath Blitz Astral Quad in Ritualistic Rose. So this was definitely more pinky gold. Oh, this is gorgeous. I remember when I tracked this one down, this was sold out everywhere for a minute. The head elf ended up picking this one up for me. I was like, thank you so much, because I really wanted this palette. And especially now we're about to go into peak like spring holidays. I'm thinking Easter, Mother's Day, that type of thing. I'm reaching for this palette. So yes, I'm keeping it. Let's go ahead and end out the quads from Pat McGrath. This is, which quad palette is this? I don't know what palette this is. Okay, this is an older one. This is, I have to look it up. I'll link it. I've seen it, but the name isn't on it anymore because that's how I know it's an older one. But this one is very pretty. It's more so iridescently pretty. I do reach for this one. It's one of those that I forget I have it, but then I reach for it again and I fall back in love with it. So I'm gonna keep it. I'm digging it. Next palette. This is from Tarte, and this is Tartelette in Bloom. I remember I used to like this palette once upon a time, but it's a little bit too beige for my complexion, and that's why I started reaching for it. So I'm going to declutter this palette. This is the Tartelette in Bloom. You're going bye-bye. Next palette, this is from Colored Raine. This is the Smoke Show palette. This is 3 eyeshadows. Very quick and easy smoky eye palette. Although I gotta admit, I don't wear smoky eyes as much as I used to. Just being in the house more, just post-pandemic, all of that. Yeah, I do not be wearing smoky eyes like that no more. So I still have all of these colors in singles, so I'm willing to let this palette go to make space. So Smoke Show palette, I'm going to get rid of you. Next palette. Okay, y'all know I literally just got this one. We tracked it down at TJ Maxx, so I'm not even going to waste your time. And I do enjoy this palette. I've been wearing it, as you can see. I've been creating looks and it's giving. This is from the Holiday 2022 collection, by the way. This is Bronze Bliss, for those that may be wondering. Next palette, this is from Colored Raine. Let me tell y'all, they went off when they made this. Now this is the ultimate summer palette, and I'm so glad I have it because I almost missed a restock. And when I say this palette sold out instantly, it's that good. Let me show y'all the Colored Raine Safari palette. Look at this, beautiful. All of my summer trips and events, this is the palette I wore. 2021 for sure, a little bit of 2022 as well, and I'm gonna reach for it in 2023. But get into this palette. The shimmers are on point and the mattes are equally as creamy, y'all. Just yes, this is an absolute staple and I'm keeping it. Colored Raine Safari palette. Next palette, this was the best of the big palettes, the big mothership palettes for holiday season. This was the 2021 palette. Yes, the holiday palette for 2021. I'm still reaching for this one to this day. It is the best, hands down. Love this one. Did not like the first one for 2020. I did not like this past year's 2022's. And the 2022 one is always on sale, and it's for a reason, because it's just not good. It doesn't hold up to this one. Absolutely holding on to this palette. Ooh, throwback. This might be the oldest palette in this Declutter. This is one I've held on for years now for sentimental value. This one is the original Amrezy palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is before the real makeup boom and all that, the heyday of the makeup community. Pre all that, this was this palette. And as you can see, I even hit pan on one of the shades, but this is back during Anastasia Beverly Hills' early eyeshadow palette formula, before they really figured out what they were doing. So you know what? I'm willing to let this go now because this palette is very old. I'm thinking it's almost 10 years old at this time. So you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna let it ride. Bye. I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go. Bye. This is the Dose of Colors palette. This was the Desi and Katy collaboration. This palette, y'all, is still very, very pretty. It actually applies better than it looks in the pan. So, and I still reach for this palette actively to this day. So you know what? I'm gonna keep it because it's good for going out. Next palette, this is a classic, especially for all my fellow brown girls, black girls, all of the above. Yes, ma'am. If you were melanated, you know about this palette. This is everything. This was the Jackie Aina Palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I remember I drove across town 30 minutes for this palette because I had to have it. And it is still very, very pretty. Do I reach for it as much as I used to? No, but I'm not ready to get rid of it because there are a lot of shades in here. As you can see, the specialty shades, the shimmers, I still dig into. So I'm keeping Jackie. And we have a Morphe palette. This is the Morphe times 9, I want to say. And it's like a neutral, it's the So Chill palette, 9S palette. And it's basically for a navy blue smoky eye type of palette. As you all can see, I was obsessed with smoky eyes once upon a time, but I do not reach for this palette. This is just not my life. So I'm gonna let it go. And we have Juvia's Place. This is the Nomad palette. This is my favorite of the 9 shadows that they have. This was kind of the precursor to Coffee Shop, but this is more of that mustard, more fall type of palette. This is beautiful and I'm going to keep it. So yes, Nomad is a yes. This is old here. This is the Warrior by Juvia's Place. And this one is so gold. It's very, very gold. And the thing is with this palette, do I reach for it? Do I wear these type of colors? Yes, but I have these in singles and in other palettes that I don't need these giant pans. So I'm gonna let this one go. Now we have the Baked Browns 2. This came out from Dose of Colors last year. Just very neutral toned, buttery nude browns. Now this is my type of aesthetic these days, so I'm absolutely gonna keep this. It's a yes. This is an oldie but goodie. Ooh, this is old. This is the Artist palette, the Eye Artist palette. This was from Laura Mercier. Yes, she doesn't really release eyeshadow palettes a lot, every few years, but this was the original one, and it's very purpley, plummy, is in that vibe. I actually still like this. I do, but I gotta be honest, this palette is old. It's old, it's very old, and with eyeshadows, when they start to get old, they get real powdery and kind of dusty. So you know what, I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go. Now we have the Norvina palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I still wear this palette literally like once a week, so it's a yes. I'm keeping Norvina. This is hands down the best Norvina palette they ever came out with. Shots fired on that one. Then we have the Sultry palette. This was more of a holiday type of palette that came out for Anastasia Beverly Hills. I remember I had to track this one down in TJ Maxx, y'all. But this one is filled with shimmers. Very good for your special occasions and things. I normally travel with this one and the Soft Glam palette because between those two, you can create any type of look, a day look or a night look. Both of those palettes get together, give you what you need. So I'm gonna keep it. All right, we down to the bottom, y'all. So now we have a big boy palette. This is the 35X Big Primping palette from Morphe. This was a holiday palette for holiday 2021. And y'all can look at this thing. I'm just past this point in my collection where I need a giant palette. These type of palettes are good for people that are beginners in makeup. They're just trying to figure it out. You need a whole bunch of colors to play in. Honey, I am a retired artist, so I don't need all this. This is just way too much overkill, and I'm not wearing this. So I'm letting you go. Last palette. This is the... Which palette is this? Ooh, now this was my favorite out of all of the big palettes ever. This is the 35F Frost palette. I know that one. I know I'm going to say it right. Yep, 35F Fall Into the Frost. 35F. Now this one was great for you wanted more sultry fall type of shimmery eyeshadows, but I already have these type of colors in singles on other palettes at this point. So again, same thing, just like with the big primping. I don't need 35 in this big old palette. This just takes up way too much space. So it is a no for me. So these are all of the palettes that essentially made the cut. As you can see, way less space is taken up, way more condensed than what it was. So these are the palettes I will be working from. And this way, if I do see any other new palettes that come out, which of course that's going to happen because hey, that's makeup and it's always something new coming out. So now I actually will have room enough to receive it. You know, you got to make room, out with the old, in with the new. But this is where we're at now. So elves, let me know what you think of my declutter. Are you doing any decluttering as well? Are you over your collection? Do you want to start over? Talk to me in the comments below. What do you think about the palettes that got tossed? What do you think about the palettes that stayed? I want to hear from you all. But until next time, elves, I will catch y'all in the next video. Bye.